Hello, investors. Welcome to yet another 180 Markets Weekly Wrap. Friends, the market right now is certainly confusing. We are dealing with wild swings in the markets, ups, downs, and generally the trend has been much weaker. And all of this is because of so many unknowns in the market. There's Omicron, serious supply chain challenges, inflation worries, and just overall weakness. And what does it mean? It means that investors are pulling back, and on top of it, the market technicals have also weakened up. And what I mean specifically is that when you look at market breadth, it's only a few companies that are really supporting the bigger indices that is masking overall weakness. As a fact and an example, in the NASDAQ, if you back out the top 5 companies, the NASDAQ goes from up 17% for the year to down over 20%. So we really do have a lot of corrections and further weaknesses in share prices than what meets the eye. Leads to the question, what do we do? What we're doing here at 180 Markets, we're focusing on price action, seeing where does a bottom form. We know the valuations are very, very attractive in some of the smaller companies compared to the bigger companies right now, but we want to see those technicals improve a little bit more before dipping our toes back into the water. And more specifically, to look at what's going on inside the market itself, let me turn it over to Sean.
After the falls we saw at the end of last week, combined with crashing crypto prices over the weekend, investors have shied away from high growth and small and micro cap stocks. There have been not many sectors that the money has gone to. For me, what I found probably the most disappointing is we have seen a bit of a rebound in world markets. Our Australian market has bounced pretty hard over the last few days, but small caps have not got back much volume. Prices have stayed around the lows and there's really not much action. I think everyone, all traders are packed up and are just ready to take a break and don't want to be overexposed over the holiday period. We found on placements the take-up has been really slow. Clear investor fatigue. There have been a few placements which have fallen short of the higher end of targets, and investors are clearly just waiting for more indicators before they want to put their money back into small caps. I think at 180 Markets, we feel like we've had a pretty strong year. And even ourselves here, just not taking much at the moment and just waiting. We just feel that come February next year is when everyone will return and hopefully there'll be some more optimism around. Now, we've got a new speaker today who I'm excited to introduce, and that's Jesse. Most of you probably haven't met Jesse. Jake's not able to make it today, so Jesse's going to take over. So Jesse, do you want to introduce the hot stocks of the week?
Thanks for that, Sean. So the star performer of the week has been Neuren Pharmaceuticals, which has the ASX code NEU. The company released positive top-line results from its phase 3 trial in Rett syndrome. The market clearly has a lot of confidence in the stock going forward. It was also great to see a new research report from Bell Potter valuing the company at $7.50 after the recent news. The company still has many other trials in the pipeline and has also just completed a phase 2 clinical trial in Fragile X syndrome. Neuren has granted an exclusive license to Acadia Pharmaceuticals, which is a major US-based company, for the development and commercialization of its lead compound, trofinetide, in North America, whilst retaining all rights in the rest of the world. Emperor Energy, which has the ASX code EMP, has also had a roller coaster last week that's seen its share price have massive movements in the market. There's been no news released. However, we feel the lack of liquidity has made it very easy for the stock to rebound from its recent lows of just 3.5 cents 2 weeks ago. The stock has made a V-shaped recovery, and it will be very interesting to see where the price settles. Emerson Resources, which has the ASX code ERM, this week announced to the market that they had achieved an outstanding 117 metre at 3.38% copper drill hit at their 100% owned Hermitage project in Tennant Creek, which created a soaring share price, hitting a high of 22 cents yesterday after starting the week at just 7 cents per share. The price has since settled at around 16 cents, which is a massive result for all investors holding the stock. Revolver Resources, which has the ASX code RRR, also announced an exceptional copper and zinc drill intercept with a visual estimate of greater than 90% combined sulfides at their Diane project that saw its share price move from 35 cents up to a high of 55 cents. The price has since settled to 42.5 cents. I'm now going to hand over to Ariella.
Thanks, Jesse. So I'm going to talk about placements as usual. And this week, there are an amazing 25 capital raises on the market, without including IPOs. ADX Energy has raised $2.8 million at 1 cent per share. Investors also received a very short-dated option to purchase more shares at 1.5 cents. Funds from the raise will be used towards ongoing feasibility studies at its Vienna Basin green hydrogen project. In another very popular behind-the-wall deal at 180 Markets, we were very lucky to bid early into the placement, which we usually do to secure early allocation. In another behind-the-wall deal at 180 Markets, we secured a nice allocation in Equus Mining. The raise was done at 0.85 cents per share, which was only a slight discount to the close prior to the raise. After the raise, the company immediately did a consolidation, which is usually done to entice institutional investors into the register. Taylor Collison was lead manager on the deal, which ended up raising $3.3 million. Anteris Technologies has secured underwriting for its $8 options through Evolution Capital. The options were sub-underwritten by L1 Capital and Regal Funds Management, which will guarantee the company an additional $14 million through funding of options that are yet to be exercised. This adds on to the recent placement cornerstoned by L1 Capital, who are obviously very bullish on the prospects of this medtech. AVR has a revolutionary heart valve product looking to disrupt this $9 billion industry. Ironbark Zinc has raised $4 million at a very tiny 2% discount to the previous close. The raise was actually done at a 1% premium to the 10-day VWAP and a 5% premium to the 20-day VWAP. The single tranche placement was managed by Morgans Corporate. The raise was cornerstoned by IBG's largest shareholder, UK-based Benelong Resource Capital. In an amazing result, the company resumed trading today and opened at a whopping 100% premium to the placement price. We have seen this week's trend of recent IPOs continued. In what was another disappointing week for IPOs, we saw 5 new companies hit the bourse. Unfortunately, in this environment, a good result for a new listing is to trade flat or to trade slightly down. At 180 Markets, we feel there's way too many new listings for investors to keep up all the demand. Our bidding has fallen materially in the last few weeks after many disappointing listings. However, as we are a do-it-yourself platform, we still offer investors as many IPOs as we can, and we encourage you all to do your research before committing your hard-earned funds to these IPOs. Back over to you, Greg.
Thanks, Ariella, and thank you, investors. As we mentioned, and you can hear throughout the theme, now is the time to be cautious. There's a lack of liquidity, as Sean mentioned. Placements, IPOs, as Ariella mentioned, are very weak right now. Surely there are better times ahead. Right now is the time to protect your capital. Thank you very much, and be well. Thank you for watching another presentation by 180 Markets. Don't forget, if you want access to thousands of ASX capital raises, head on over to 180markets.com.au, sign up, and get on board for our very next capital raise. Thanks for watching.